But again, more encouragement, I think, for Sheffield United to know that they can cause real problems in the final third.
I mean, it is encouragement, but I think it's something that they knew going into this match.
Yeah, no, he definitely lucky it hit Rob Holding's hand, but the fact is it was.
The basketball clearance off the line.
Well, the VAR is checking the disallowed goal, and I think this is tight. Maybe McGoldrick is the man in the centre who is offside, which seems to be the issue. But certainly, it's not clear-cut, is it?
I mean, the officials are making a right hash of this afternoon, aren't they?
Well, they're not if they've got it right. And the check is over, and the decision is no goal. So they did get it right. You don't look convinced.
I don't understand how why the linesman puts his flag up for that one, but it's incredibly tight.
Well, it's two different linesmen, isn't it? This is Ian Hussin on this near side. It was the other linesman.
But they should be the same.
They should be consistent. Yes.
Yeah. I'm just seeing sort of the third angle now.
It's tight. It really is tight.
So what offside are they giving it for?
McGoldrick. He has the initial shot, which is saved by the goalkeeper. And then it pops up, and then it's put in by Egan, stroke the arm of Rob Holding. Here is Lacazette on halfway, dispossessed.
But the linesman put his flag up before the ball went in, didn't he?
He did.
That's an incredibly brave call, considering the last one where he was a yard offside, never even put his flag up at all.
Egan on halfway. You're listening to the FA Cup quarter-final, live and exclusive to National Radio on TalkSport. Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 1, with the Fiat Professional range of vans. Get peace of mind with 5 years warranty, 5 years roadside assistance and 5 years servicing. Terms and conditions apply. Search Fiat Pro 555. 15 minutes gone in the second half. McGoldrick curls it out towards the far side. I think they're going to make a change here. Sheffield United. Wider on the left-hand side. The ball delivered into the box, and it's Basham with a header, and he's free at the far post, and he's missed the target. It was an excellent delivery, wide on the left from Robinson. He drove the ball into the box. Basham got himself free. He flung himself at the ball, but he sent the header wide.
I've been saying all afternoon, Arsenal are so vulnerable from crosses, balls coming into the box. Yet again, brilliant delivery. Basham is about a yard and a half, 2 yards beyond the range, and somehow he puts it wide.
Kieran Freeman is about to come on for Sheffield United, or given away by Xhaka, and they've turned the ball over high inside the Arsenal half, and Fleck should have released it. Instead he was dispossessed because he tried to take on Xhaka, and Arsenal have turned it over, and now they counter-attack down the right with Pepe into the area, gets back towards Xhaka, who's on the edge of the box. Fleck brings him down, the referee says no free kick, and Sheffield United are allowed to come away. If he had given a free kick there, referee would have had to have sent John Fleck off. Here is Egan forward towards the left, and then it's played on into the area for McBurney. Goalkeeper comes out brilliantly and meets McBurney at his toes and gobbles the ball up. But what a chance for Chris Basham to get an equaliser. Across from the left, which was swirled in towards the far post. A brilliant run from Basham. His header just off target.
I think he just took his eye off it as the ball came in. He was there, and he's almost tried to guide it in to what would then have been the near post. He's got the whole of the goal, head it back from where it came from, and he scores.
Well, it was a great opportunity for Sheffield United, and they've had opportunities tonight, this afternoon, to get on the score sheet. Here's Tierney at the other end, trying to drive the ball through the Sheffield United penalty area. We haven't seen much of Arsenal as an attacking force in the second half, Danny, at all. It's all been Sheffield United.
It's just getting a little bit lively, though, isn't it? Sheffield United, that they need something, that they need a spark. They need to introduce a little bit of pace into this game, a little bit more tempo.
Well, Baldock is coming off and Freeman is coming on, so they might just give them an extra bit of legs down that right hand side.
They've got just one substitution break left, haven't they?
Yes. Because they used one in the first half, Lundstrom for Burge. Now they've brought on Freeman, so they can only make one other substitution in terms of they can only make substitutions at one other time, but they've got 3 substitutes that they could use. Of course, if they do get back into the game and it goes to extra time, they could have another substitute.
I'm surprised the drinks break doesn't count. Why you can't make a substitution during the drinks break? Is it?
All these things might be ironed out.
It won't. But you know what I mean? It's a stopping play. You're not delaying it, or you're not changing the momentum of the game.
Here is Kolasinac in the left full-back position for Arsenal. Are about to head to an FA Cup semi-final, unless Sheffield United in the final 28 minutes of this game can find some sort of inspiration in front of goal. And they do look a little bit as if they're tiring, and I suppose it's a lot more tiring when you're chasing the ball than when you're the ones knocking it around. But they've had quite a lot of possession in this game. It's the crafting of chances which is a problem. They do have Billy Sharp on the bench, Lys Mousset on the bench, Lys Mousset. Would there be an argument for bringing those 2 on?
But they've created chances. You know, they've crosses into the box. They've created several chances, good chances as well. They just haven't been clinical enough in front of goal.
And Billy Sharp has just come out from the technical area and is starting to warm up away to our left-hand side. It looks quite a sort of healthy run-up and jog towards the touchline. Here is the goalkeeper Emi Martinez for Arsenal, who lead by that controversial penalty. A lot of people on social media, I think, if you're an Arsenal fan, you think that's definitely a penalty. If you're a Sheffield United fan, you think it's well harsh. Which probably means that we're quite right to say that it's a debatable one.
Well, it comes down to the fact, technically, every contact is a foul. But you know,
is it?
Well, yeah.
All contact. It's a contact sport.
But if I go to kick the ball and I miss it and kick you, however hard I kick you, it's a foul.
True.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not every contact, though, is it?
Well,
just some contact.
But if you're swinging for the ball and you miss and you kick the player, that's a foul. By the letter of the law, we have to have a little bit more common sense about it than that, and that's where it comes in. I mean, I don't think there was. I think Lacazette's reaction and his theatrics is what gets the penalty.
Here is Xhaka up towards Ainsley Maitland-Niles, out to the right. It's crossed by Pepe towards Lacazette, headed away by Basham. Midway point of the Sheffield United territory is Arsenal in possession again with Kolasinac. Box, he plays a low ball into Willock, a little flick round the corner for Lacazette. Lacazette on a different wavelength, and that move comes to nothing. And Henderson has the ball in his hands again. Mikel Arteta is hoping to be the man who lifts the FA Cup again. He was the captain of the last Arsenal team that lifted the FA Cup. He was definitely the captain of the team that lifted the FA Cup during his last season at Arsenal. And he demands a lot of energy and a lot of passion, and he demands his team to continue winning. And he wants a bit more energy and passion up front, I think. And Dani Ceballos is about to come on with Eddie Nketiah, who has scored in every domestic cup game in which he's played this season. Joe Willock is coming off. He's one of the substitutions, and he is taking his time. Just wonder whether or not Lacazette is going to drop into that number 10 position, and whether Nketiah will go as the main striker. Joe Willock is taking all day to get from one side of the pitch to the other. What happened to going off at the nearest point of entry? And the second substitution, Dani Ceballos coming on and Lacazette coming off. And Lacazette just wandered as far away as possible as well before he decided to trot over.
I mean, that's taken 2 minutes to make 2 substitutions. Way too long, wasn't it?
It was a little bit over-egged, that. Halfway through. Ball is out of play over on the far side. We have just had a text, by the way, suggesting that in terms of contact, you would know more than most about it.
Well, no, but it becomes. I know it's a bit pedantic and it's a bit silly, but it's like, you know, if I punch you, it doesn't matter how hard I punch you, it's a punch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. But we all know that there's not enough contact for that to be a foul and to go down, and that's why people say, oh, there was
ball
contact.
Thrown into the near post. It's on by McBurney. There's a bit of wrestling going on inside the penalty area. Burge turns the ball back goalwards. It's stopped by Kolasinac, and another long throw causes problems for Arsenal initially, and there was a little bit of contact in the box there.
No, so, you know, referees, the referee will argue, oh, contact was made, or therefore it's a foul. That's what they'll come up with, and when you talk to the referees, that'll be their excuse. And by the letter of the law, they are technically correct. But we all know.
But you don't want to see penalties.
No, but that's not enough. What I'm saying is that's not enough for a penalty. It's his theatrics, the fact that he jumps up and goes down and then limps off, I think makes up the referee's mind. Could he have stood up from that challenge? Of course he could. And that's why I said, I think when it happened, I could flick you in the ears harder than he got caught on the back of the heel.
Tierney down the left for Arsenal, who lead by 1-0. Not a great clearance. Comes back to Granit Xhaka, whose shot is blocked by Robinson inside the area. And then there's a foul on the defender Freeman, and a free kick is given for Sheffield United, who still trail by 1-0. But Arsenal had control of the first half on Thursday, but they found themselves on the back foot in the second 45 against Southampton. And they've been on the back foot for a lot of this game without really Sheffield United having to force Emi Martinez into saves. They've had half chances, opportunities, moments where they could have created, but not enough has been conjured by Chris Wilder's team. And there's the drinks break.
I think it's is it a corner? I thought it was a corner, isn't it?
It's the drinks break.
No, but when we restart after that, there was one yesterday. I was watching the game and thinking, the last thing you need, it's the most inappropriate time to have a drinks break is when there's a corner. That's the last thing that you need.
I'm not sure. I didn't think it was a corner.
Well, maybe this one was. I thought it was. But there was one yesterday in the game where they stopped it before the corner. Normally, you would never make a substitution before a corner because you want to be, you need that concentration. I think it's unfair.
You are listening to Talk Sport, and by the way, we've got two more FA Cup quarter-finals for you coming up in the next few hours. Leicester City against Chelsea, available on our app and on Talk Sport, and the same with the game which is taking place tonight at St James's Park, 7 o'clock. Faker Others in the chair for the first one, Danny Kelly for the second one, and it's Newcastle against Manchester City, including the FA Cup draw. And then tomorrow, live commentary on Talk Sport 2 of the League 2 playoff final between Exeter and Northampton. Tuesday night we're round the grounds and we've got double back-to-back commentary from the EFL on TalkSport 2. On Wednesday night we've got back-to-back Premier League commentaries on TalkSport. Game day drive from 4. From 5:30 we've got live commentary from the Premier League. Back-to-back matches on Wednesday night, including Chelsea against West Ham United. That one kicks off at 8:15. Prior to that, on Talk Sport, we've got Arsenal Norwich. On Talk Sport 2, it's Everton Leicester. All three of those games are on the Talk Sport network, and you can listen to them flick between. We're back underway after the drinks break, and it's still 1-0 to Arsenal, and they're heading into a
breezy start to the second half as the ball is
yet another FA Cup semi-final, the competition that has offered them so much salvation over the years, a competition which has rescued seasons for them, may well end up doing so again. Their place in the Premier League, their current position is not one that they would shout too much about. And Xhaka gets pressed by Sander Berge and almost gives the ball away and does end up putting it out of play for a throw-in. And Oli McBurney is complaining that the three front players were not backed up by the midfielders.
Oh, what a waste. Sheffield United's been causing problems from long throw-ins. They're in a perfect opportunity to launch it into the box. They go short, poor touch, and they give Arsenal the ball back.
So they just managed to work incredibly hard to press the Arsenal defence after they looked to play out from the back. They won a throw-in and then gave it straight back to Arsenal.
Because you look at it, Basham is what, 6'3", 4", something like that. Berg looks like he's about 6'8". You've then got McGoldrick, Burney. Get the ball in the box and cause Arsenal problems.
Berge keeps slipping over. I think he needs to sort his studs out. Here on the right side, Freeman back to Norwood, good feet by him. Burge, then on to Freeman again. Plays a square ball, Burge, towards Fleck. Fleck turns away from Pepe, moves towards the edge of the area. Back to Burge, who steps over it, allows Freeman to look to get across him, but he didn't have the control or poise to do that, and Tierney snapped at his ankles, puts it out of play, and it's away for a throw into Arsenal. And it's another mishap from Sheffield United as they get into the final third. Another not quite good enough moment from Chris Wilder's team, which may end up costing them, because at the moment they're falling out of this competition and they haven't had a particularly good run since the restart. They've had way that you win points, win matches and win trophies is by scoring goals, and they don't do enough of that.
It was just indecision from Freeman, you know, in the final third. Just needs to get the ball out of his feet, whip the ball in. He thought, shall I go down the line, shall I cut back inside? And then by the time he'd sort of made his mind up, Tierney was able to get the interception in.
Well, at the moment they're trying to pin Arsenal inside their own half, and they've been pretty successful at doing that. Eddie Nketiah, though, has just been fouled from behind, and a free kick will be given to Arsenal, just left of centre, as they come out of their own half of the field with the ball. Holding to Mustafi, then back to goalkeeper Martinez. I don't think that you can have too much of a go at Sheffield United for dropping off. They weren't expected to be in the last 8 of the FA Cup, the top 8 of the Premier League, but when you've got prizes to aim for, you can understand. Not too many Blades will be complaining about what's happened since Project Restart. They know that Chris Wilder had already overachieved with this team. Norwood looking for McBurney, heads it down. Burge hits it against his own body somehow. He miscontrolled that completely when he had a real opportunity to shoot towards goal. Back in again by Freeman, away by Holding. Forward again by Robinson towards McGoldrick. Again Holding takes charge, but it's picked up on the right side by Burge. Produces a low cross, not the best. Steered away by Kolasinac. Sheffield United on the offensive, but now they've lost the ball, and a chance for Nketiah to escape. Robinson comes across, knocks him off the ball. That's going to be a yellow card for Jack Robinson.
I think Jack Robinson knew exactly what was coming there. It was good play from Nketiah. Laid the ball off, spun away, ball was played through, and you're always thinking this is going to be a 50-50, and if Nketiah nicks the ball first, he's always, then Robinson's going to have to bring him down, because if not, Nketiah would have been through on goal, even though he's on the halfway line.
Here comes Billy the Blade. Basham coming off, Billy Sharp coming on, and Sheffield United are going for it in the final few minutes. McGoldrick, McBurney and Billy Sharp all on. They've gone to a back four. They've rejigged their midfield with McGoldrick going almost as like a number 10. And Sharp will operate from the left, McBurney slightly from the right.
Well, he will be dreaming that he gets a chance like Basham had at the far post, won't he? Should really hit the target, at the very least should hit the target. Probably should score. I mean, if that falls to Billy Sharp, there's every chance that will be in the back of the net. 3
goals in his last 4 appearances before lockdown. He'd started to get a run in the starting 11. Had Billy Sharp, second oldest goal scorer in the Premier League this season, and he's off the bench to try and force Sheffield United into extra time. Here's Tierney down the left, trying to get the cross in, blocked by Norwood as Arsenal come forward. He's up towards the halfway line. Kolasinac will see this out of play, and was it a throw-in for Sheffield United? Certainly Arsenal have disputed that. Mikel Arteta is out and screaming. Chris Wilder and Arteta are now engaged in a row. The player is off the pitch. Kolasinac is off the pitch, and Sheffield United want to get on with the game, which is what they're allowed to do. Why on earth is the referee stopping it from continuing? Because ultimately at the time Kolasinac was receiving treatment. Danny Mills just shakes his head.
I just have no idea. Well, let's be honest. We all know that, you know, we've all seen on social media, Kolasinac is pretty hard, and when he didn't get that free kick, he got up rather quickly, didn't he? And
McGoldrick sends the ball into the centre. It takes a deflection and goes behind for a corner. And Chris Wilder is just having a quick word with Robinson and Egan. about their responsibilities now the formation has changed. You're listening to the FA Cup quarter-final on TalkSport with Sheffield United trailing by a goal to nil. With the Fiat professional range of vans, get peace of mind, 5 years warranty, 5 years roadside assistance, 5 years servicing. Terms and the conditions apply. Search Fiat Pro 555. Here's the corner, Norwood, deep towards the far post. High into the air, the header goes from Robinson, but it's over the top of the crossbar. Now, Chris Wilder was absolutely furious that the game could not continue. The referee had not given a foul against McBurney, so Kolasinac was off the pitch. He was getting treatment from the physios. They wanted to take the throw in quickly. They were not allowed to do so. I'm sure he'll have a bit of a moan up about that after the game.
I just wonder if he didn't give the free kick because he was already off the pitch when he gave him a little nudge.
No, it's still a foul. The free kick would have to be taken at the nearest point of entry to the pitch, perpendicular from where the offence took place. You can foul someone off the pitch and still give away a penalty if it's behind the goal. Here is Stevens up over the halfway line.
But he can't because the ball's out of play.
If the ball's in play and you make a decision, if he's off the field of play and they're still
the ball was out of play as well, is what I'm saying. So
if the ball's off the field, then you can still make a foul. You can't make a foul if the ball's out of play, but you can.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I think that was probably the referee's probably thinking, well, I can't give a foul, but I can't send him off for violent conduct or anything. It's probably the referee manipulating the laws there.
Here is Holding back to the goalkeeper Martinez.
I'm giving the referee the benefit of the doubt, Sam. Come on, doesn't happen very often.
I was a bit confused. 11 minutes left in the sunshine at Bramall Lane, where it's Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 1 on TalkSport. Arsenal have the ball inside their own half of the field on the right. It's up to Pepe, and he tries to turn away from the defender Stevens, plays it against him and wins the throw-in, level with the halfway line. Looking for a fourth semi-final in 7 years, Arsenal. They've had to do it without Lucas Torreira, Pablo Mari, Bernd Leno, Martinelli, Chambers, Cedric, Suarez. They've left Eddie Nketiah on the bench now, Aubameyang on the bench. There's no Özil in the squad today. No Guendouzi in the squad today. I'm sure that will raise eyebrows again. It's a lot of money left on the bench, isn't it? I mean, Özil has hardly played since the restart. Nketiah on to Pepe. Pepe wriggles free of the defender's grasp, sends it midfield Wood towards Xhaka, and then the return from Tierney goes towards the near post, and Pepe couldn't latch onto the end of it. It's cleared away by a diving John Egan, and it's out for a throw-in on this near side. 10 minutes to go. Leicester, Chelsea and Manchester City, Newcastle to come. Is there going to be a grandstand finish at the end of this FA Cup quarter-final on TalkSport? Will there be a goal to take us to extra time? Will Arsenal kill off the tie? They haven't looked like doing so, have they? They haven't looked ruthless enough, Arsenal. And they've spent a lot of time having to defend in this second half, but they do have a corner now. They've won it over on the far side. And it's going to be taken by the substitute, Dani Ceballos. He whips it in towards the near post. A stooping header from Xhaka is blocked by Sander Berge. It's cleared away by Fleck, and then Saka is reaching for it. It's up towards Billy Sharp, who heads the ball into the air. No one around him in red and white, but McGoldrick is trying to help that situation. He's managed to keep it in down the touchline and force Arsenal back deeper into their own territory. And Nketiah is chasing a long ball down the left channel now, and across comes Robinson and reads it well, but the offside flag was already up, and it's going to be a free kick to Sheffield United, and they just need to get the ball in the Arsenal half again now, Danny.
I know they play very, very good football at times, but maybe now they've got to go, you know what, let's just go a little bit more direct. They've got three forward players on, Billy Sharp, McGoldrick and Burney. Get the ball forward.
Well, the successes in the first sort of 20 minutes of the game was getting crosses into the box, wasn't it? Here's McBurney bringing it down well inside the area from that long ball by Henderson. It comes back to Berge. Couldn't get it under control, Giant side, and it goes out for a goal kick. But again, McBurney's had an opportunity to bring the ball down there, Danny, and for whatever reason, he just couldn't get it under control. I
think it's just a little lack in self-belief, a lack in confidence. They haven't they've not been prolific, have they?
Look at him, he's shouting at himself, his head is down, looking at his own body, and he's giving himself a real cursing.
Frustration. He knows what he wants to do, he knows that he can do it, but that little bit of belief, that little bit of confidence, you know, to go in ahead and execute it properly just isn't there.
Signed from Swansea in the close season last year, Ollie McBurney, Scotland international. Scored in his last 10 appearances before today. 24 goals at Swansea last season. Hasn't been able to solve a goal scoring problem for Sheffield United. Arsenal have a throw down by the corner flag. Going to be sent long and forward by Ainsley Maitland-Niles up towards Nketiah. Immediately falls into the path of a Sheffield United defender, and then Egan will play it to Freeman, who eventually will go back to his goalkeeper. Here is Henderson to kick long. Sheffield United need to flood
Another shot,
the edge of that penalty area. Well, he's chipped that like an iron shot, hasn't he? And he's clipped that into the air. It's flicked on by McBurney. Sharp goes towards it. It breaks towards the left-hand side, and then Stevens tries to bundle his way down the far touchline. It's whipped in by Fleck, headed away by Xhaka. And then Norwood is penalised for a foul. It looked to me as if Nketiah had backed into it.
I think Nketiah was backing in and then just slipped a little bit. But it just goes to show, I mean, we don't feel it up here at all, but that wind down there is so strong. Because in the first half, at times, Henderson was struggling to make the halfway line, you know, when we was kicking the ball off the deck.
Yep.
And then suddenly now in the second half, he's sticking it on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, it's not as hot today. We have had our 2 drinks breaks, but I think it was expected to be 13-14 degrees today here in Sheffield, South Yorkshire. Certainly, you can see everyone's got their coats on today. Yesterday it was shorts and t-shirts at Norwich. The British summer. Henderson sends it long again. McBurney flicks it on. A slip by Xhaka, who wants a free kick. The referee's not having any of it. 5 minutes to go before the end of this game, and it's still Arsenal heading through to an FA Cup semi-final. Henderson has control of the ball inside his own penalty area. Norwood under pressure, goes right to Egan, and then Freeman gets whacked by Tierney. That's going to be a free kick. Mikel Arteta, furious, throws his arms up in the air, complains.
Come on, mate, you had an unbelievably soft penalty. Don't start complaining about that.
Aubameyang warming up down on the touchline. I mean, can you imagine that? You're Chris Wilder, you're losing 1-0, you've had a couple of decisions go against you, and then right at the very end they're going to bring on Aubameyang just to make it even harder for you. He's jumped in by Henderson towards the edge of the area again. Holding wins another aerial battle and heads it clear, and then striding forward over the halfway line is Pepe. It's a good ball out to Nketiah. Nketiah into the penalty area, takes it inside the defender, then goes down and commits a foul inside the box, and Arteta again is furious. At least Paul Tierney has kept to his standard.
Very low standard.
Sharp, back to Norwood, back left towards John Fleck. Fleck fires the ball forward. Again, it's inadequate, the ball forward. It was aimless, it went straight to an Arsenal jersey. One back by Freeman. McGoldrick holds off the defender. Lovely little Cruyff turn. He's got Sharp to his right, McBurney to his left. He used McBurney. Low ball into the near post, dug out by Holding. It wasn't the best of crosses by McBurney, but Sheffield United still have the ball and a chance to offer a long throw right at the end of the game. Danny Mills.
It was that lack of belief again, wasn't it? Got himself into a good position on that far side and didn't really have the confidence, belief to whip it in with his left foot, and in the end just dribbled it in towards the defender.
Real opportunity for Sheffield United to take this into extra time. The throw-in on the far side, launched towards the near post, missed by Holding, comes to McGoldrick and he's scored, and he has equalised. He can't score in the Premier League. Both his goals have come in the FA Cup though, and this one couldn't be more timely. David McGoldrick scores for Sheffield United, and extra time looms in the FA Cup quarter-final. It's Sheffield United 1, Arsenal 1.
I think that's what Sheffield United deserve after some of the decisions they've had in this game. They've worked hard, they've created lots of opportunities from crosses, from long throw-ins, and that was no different. The ball came in, Arsenal's defence was all at 6s and 7s. Was it Kolasinac smashed the ball against one of his own players? And then there he was, simple as you like, McGoldrick, 3 yards out, tap it into the back of the net. But well, no, I have to say Sheffield United deserve that on the balance of play.
He started that move with a lovely little turn in the middle of the park.
Again, for those that go away, it's a Maradona spin.
It was a brilliant little twirl in the middle of the park to set up the throw-in. It was launched into the near post, Holding missed it, Kolasinac hit it against Holding, it ricocheted into the path of McGoldrick. He wasn't offside on this occasion.
Oh, Holding put his hand up. Holding put his hand up for offside, and it was Kolasinac that smashed the ball against him. I mean, that's just... Holding went for the ball, missed the first header. Kolasinac panics a little bit, hits it against Holding. The ball was bouncing around, and McGoldrick was the first one to react and tap it into an empty net.
Well, we'll see how much character Arsenal have got now, won't we? McGoldrick, buoyed by that. He hasn't scored in the Premier League for Sheffield United, but he's now scored 2 important cup goals for them, and that's a big one. And was rewarded just before lockdown with a new contract. Here is Stevens up over the halfway line, chasing into the corner is McBurney, who goes over towards the corner flag and forces Mustafi to put the ball behind.
We have to remember as well, Sam, you know, what we're 88 minutes in. That's
every chance.
Well, that's the new norm, isn't it?
Every chance. 1-1. McGoldrick in the 87th minute has levelled things up. Live and exclusive to National Radio on TalkSport. It's a corner over on the far side. Sheffield United against Arsenal at 1-1. Norwood towards the middle of the goal, punched away by Martinez. Good goalkeeping by him. Back to the right now, and Freeman, who'll toss it back into the box. It's a deep delivery, looking for Billy Sharp. It's headed down, but comes to McGoldrick. It's left for Norwood, who strikes it. Now Sharp's got it, he strikes it, saved by the goalkeeper down at the near post. Smuggled behind by Arsenal, and it's out for another corner.
Initially, McGoldrick and Norwood got in the way on the edge of the box. Neither of them looked sure who was going to take the strike. And then that was a decent strike. Keeper saved it, and it came out to Billy Sharp, who fired it in again, and goalkeeper with his legs. Another corner.
It's all hands to the pump for Arsenal. Here's Norwood in towards the near post, and then Nketiah heads the delivery away. Fleck goes up and tries to get it back into the box. There was an offside flag up, I think, and a free kick is going to be given to Arsenal. Chris Wilder's not entirely convinced about it and is screaming down the touchline at Ian Hussin, the assistant on this near side. But what an opportunity that was for Sheffield United, who are back in the game at 1-1 on TalkSport. Nothing more than they deserve after their performance over the course of the 90 minutes, which we now have had. And we are going to have 5 minutes of added time before we go into extra time. We had extra time last night. We may well be having an extra 30 minutes here.
I don't know, Sheffield United got their tails up now.
They really are steaming forward, and Fleck has delivered the ball into the box, away by Kolasinac. Bukayo Saka has picked it up and slalomed his way away from Norwood, and then through the centre circle, out into the left channel. He wants it back. There's space on the far side for Pepe. If Nketiah can pick him out, he can. He's in the area now, but it's a good recovery by Stevens. Ceballos takes over. Goalkeeper's come out, and Ceballos has won it through the legs of Henderson and into the net. And Danny Ceballos, in the first minute of added time, has surely steered Arsenal into the FA Cup semi-final with a dramatic goal right at the very end. Minutes after Sheffield United had got a deserved equaliser, Danny Ceballos has put Arsenal back in front, and it's Sheffield United 1, Arsenal 2.
Fabulous finish from Ceballos, absolutely outstanding. Nketiah did brilliantly in the first instance. He put Pepe through on the far side. Pepe seems to have no right foot at all. Just needed to get it out of his feet, have a shot on goal. Didn't, tried to come back on his left foot. The defender then makes the challenge, but backing up is Ceballos, who then goes sort of the long way round the outside, and you're thinking, oh, from a very, very tight angle, there's no way he can get that in. And I'm not sure if it goes in at the near post or between the goalkeeper's legs, but it's a fabulous finish from Ceballos. I think he just slips it through his legs as Henderson comes steaming out. But what a great finish that is from Ceballos, only just come on as well.
Well, he celebrated wildly as he ran over to the corner flag and was engulfed by his teammates. It was a really good finish by Danny Ceballos. I mean, the delay after the goal is ridiculous. How long it's taking for either a substitute to come on or a VAR review, I don't know what on earth is going on. But I mean, the restarts have taken such a long time this afternoon. It's been ludicrous.
Yeah, it's been very, very poor. You know,
we have a substitution now. Pepe's come off, and
but with the drinks, breaks, and everything else, you know, there are enough stop-starts in the game. I think the referees have just got to try and get it flowing a little bit more.
Ball is sent up to McBurney. Is there a chance to rescue the situation and send it into extra time for Sheffield United? They launch it long. McBurney doesn't hold on to it. Again, he's chastising himself because he knows that he should have done better with that. A game, isn't it? I mean, it was a brilliantly taken finish. I think Henderson would be a little bit disappointed actually that he came out so quickly and forced Ceballos to take the shot on.
He almost made his mind up, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't need to come storming out like that.
It was a very, very tight angle. There were
headed down by Fleck. It's picked up by McGoldrick, who bundles his way forward, but the free kick has gone against him.
Yeah, I don't think there's any argument that goes through his legs. That's not really a problem. I think you're right. The argument would be is the decision. Did he need to come out that quickly and engage?
Well, that might be the subject of many a phone call a little bit later on. There'll be a lot to talk about after this game. I'm sure that Sags will delve into it before handing over to Faye Carruthers, who's watching the game between Leicester and Chelsea a little bit later, and then further on from that, Danny Kelly. I think Andy Goldstein's got a phone in tonight from 9 o'clock, his full-time phone in. Here at TalkSport, if you've got anything to say about the game, we'll always take your tweets at TalkSport on Twitter. Our social media is always open for business. You're not signed up for social media yet? On Twitter?
Don't do. Can argue with enough people, don't need that. Can argue myself in the car on the way home.
We've only got a couple of minutes left to play here, a couple of seconds maybe even left to play. Sheffield United have the ball inside their own penalty area. They launch it long up to McBurney. They're desperate for an equaliser now, but the challenge by Fleck has gone against Sheffield United. And Danny Ceballos, the goal scorer of what could be the winning goal, what should be the winning goal here probably now, is on the floor and wanting treatment. And again, it's another stoppage, and too many of these stoppages, and there has been so many of these little niggly stoppages as well throughout the course of the afternoon, have disrupted the rhythm of this game. Sheffield United bossed it for the first 20 minutes, thought they'd got themselves in front courtesy of a John Lundstrom goal. He was narrowly offside and it was cancelled out by VAR. In truth, the assistant should have seen that in the first place anyway, but didn't. Soon afterwards, Pepe did put Arsenal in front from the penalty spot after a contested decision, which again was reviewed by the VAR before, right at the very end of the match, Sheffield United basically dragged themselves back into the game, and it was nothing more than they deserved with a David McGoldrick finish, a long throw from the left, a mishap in the Arsenal defence, and McGoldrick pounced to make it 1.